Hey y'all, this is Sean again, and I'll be discussing the case study of the non-reluctant reader, Amy Briggs. This case study presents the problem where the teacher, Lee Shelby, has a student named Amy in her class. In this study, it states on page 104 that Lee's classroom embodied the ideal of rich print environment with hundreds of books of all types and topics on the shelves at students' eye level. Miss Lee, the teacher, was an avid reader. She modeled the love of reading by talking about her favorite books and reading aloud each day to the class. She would enhance storytelling by allowing students to dress up as characters from the book. She even provided students a cozy spot like beanbags, hammocks, and other places to curl up, as stated on page 105. Her student Amy Briggs had great reading levels and great grades. However, she did not read. It wasn't that she couldn't read. She was illiterate, which means she simply did not read. The teacher tried various methods to entice her student to read, but ended in failure, which included placing her with a confident reader, hoping Amy would follow his lead. She also placed her with a less than average reader, hoping little Amy would pity the student and help him out. She attempted to have a meeting with Amy's mom. However, her mother did not see a problem because Amy had good grades and was not causing issues in class. She simply just did not want to read for 15 minutes. The mother argued that her daughter did not need to read, that she would get a high school diploma and have a great job with benefits, so there was no point in it. Miss Lee then realized she was not getting anywhere with her mother and went home feeling defeated. The solutions here can come in so many ways. All children have an interest in something. The teacher could have figured out what her interest was and gave her books based on that interest. She could have asked if she had any books at home. If a child is not used to seeing books at home, they're not going to want to read at school. So she could have sent Amy home to read books to her little brother. The teacher could have also taken time out to simply ask the child why she didn't want to read. The most favorable solution would be to figure out what the child's interested in and provide that student with books based on that. Little Amy was a tomboy and she liked to build. The teacher also needs to understand that she cannot push her own ideals onto students. Some students struggle in reading because they're not confident in their skills. I feel like the problem here was not that the student didn't read, but that she was not confident in herself, or perhaps this is the case of ADHD. A case of ADHD in a student would make sense here because she found ways to occupy herself instead of reading, which often involved moving around and fiddling with things. She would go to the building center or the science center. Those are both physical, manipulative items and gave Amy something to do with her hands. Getting a child with ADHD to sit down and read can be physically painful for them because they're not moving. They're having to sit down and read. This makes the child feel bored much quicker than the average child. If Amy truly enjoyed building and then giving her a do-it-yourself book and allowing her to do the task and complete the task would also allow Amy to gain that interest in reading. If that was the case, then giving Amy something to do with her hands while giving her books to read would have solved all the problems. Thanks, y'all.